Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jackie and Stephana. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
How's everybody doing? I think I did something wrong. All right, let me go. Sorry, guys. Welcome. Hope you had a great weekend. Enjoyed. It was amazing weather here, wasn't it?
It really was a nice weekend weather-wise.
We got a chance to do a family bike ride slash rollerblade adventure. Do we want to talk in detail about what went on in that adventure?
No.
No. We were forbidden to talk about what went down on the rollerblading adventure. But no, it's fun. Let's see, you, JC, and Jackson rollerbladed while me and Joshua got a chance to ride bikes. So that was fun. We didn't have our rollerblades yet, so we didn't get a chance to, but we're looking forward to doing that. So hopefully you guys got out and had some fun, did something outside and enjoyed the weather. As you're joining, let us know you're here and let us know what you did over the weekend that was fun, exciting, or unique. Tell us something about your weekend. We shared a little bit about ours. So let me click there. All right. Whoops. Got too many outputs going on. All right. So for those of you that are just joining, never been to one of these lives before, we're Jackie and Stephana. We run a site called Happily Married Couples, where we do three things. We help couples connect deeper. We help couples communicate better. And we do that so they can create a marriage worth celebrating. So we want to help you guys do that here today. We've been doing these Facebook Lives since we've been quarantined for now. This is our fourth week, going into our fourth week, I think we're in our fourth week. And we just decided 5 o'clock on Monday through Friday, our work day shuts down and we're kind of transitioning from work time to family time. And we thought it would be a good time to share some things that will keep you connected throughout COVID-19. And what's why we're the rocket launcher. We've been saying that what we're doing right now is preparing us to launch out of COVID-19. So that way we're not just surviving this thing, but we're going to thrive through it and come out even better than we went into it.
Yes, indeed.
So that's the goal. What's up, Colby? Uh-oh, need to undo that.
Colby and Toya. We don't see Toya on here, but I think they're both in here.
Both y'all in the house today. Glad to have you. So we just asked for those that just joined. Toya took me to the Teddy Riley Babyface concert this weekend. Unfortunately, it didn't work out due to technical difficulties, which by now everybody should have heard about that.
Technical difficulties. We feel for them. We've been there.
Hey, was that Friday? Because the same day we had our technical difficulties, but we only had a 20-minute delay though. Their delay was a 72-hour plus delay because I heard they're supposed to do it tonight if they're actually able to pull it off. So
oh my God,
I'm gonna have to go back and find the video.
So you're gonna have to take him to the D Nice party.
Yeah, you go to D Nice or somebody else. I mean, here's my rule of thumb when it comes to Instagram Live. And I hate to say it like this, but you got to check the age of whoever's running the stuff. If they are over 60 or even, well, D Nice he's about a few years older than me.
It's not about the age.
It is because
we got some people in the group that might be just fine, might be better than us on technology.
Instagram Live, spend your time wisely, y'all. All right, so no, we're asking what y'all did. The Hills went to a concert that I wonder how much y'all paid for it. Was it free?
Hope so.
Hey, Carrie, thanks for joining us. So we were talking about weekend plans, what we did for the weekend. Our family went rollerblading and bike riding.
We did something big, y'all. We have not eaten out at all during this stay-at-home order.
Forgot about that.
And we went out and had some pizza from Blaze over the weekend. That was big. That was a big deal. Like nobody could eat it. Brought it home cold, cleaned off, sanitized boxes, take it out of the boxes, put it on a plate. It was a big production, but I did not cook dinner on, what was that, Saturday?
That was Saturday.
Saturday night, I was off.
Yeah, Saturday was legit for us because look, Saturday was a big day. So we went rollerblading.
Yeah.
We got groceries delivered. So we had to wait and manage around that. Then we went to pick up, we went to our router. So for those who weren't on here on Friday, our router went out and we almost did, that's why we were 20 minutes late. So I had to go buy a new router. We did that on Saturday around all that type of stuff. And while we were at Walmart getting the router, we noticed there's a whole bunch of stuff that we've been trying to order online and we couldn't get. So we did that. Then we came home and what did we do? We shut it down after that. Oh, that's when we had the pizza.
Right.
So that was our
Pizza and a
weekend.
movie.
Pizza and a movie. Yep. So y'all let us know what you did for the weekend. And today, as we haven't even told you what we're going to be talking about, but on Thursday, we started talking about how our marriages are either growing or regressing. That's what Dr. Gary Chapman says. He says they never stand still. So we want to know. So basically, if we're not moving forward, if we're not growing, what's that mean?
We're moving backwards.
That means we're
in the wrong
regressing.
direction.
Yep. So we want to give you guys some tools and a pathway and a framework to help you move forward. So on Thursday, we covered the first 4 rings, went through the 7 rings of marriage, covered the first 4 rings. And then we said we would continue and cover rings 5, 6, and 7. But on Friday, we had a guest, Susie Miller, and John Miller, her husband, who was amazing.
Yeah, they really were.
So we had to get that in. But now we're going to jump back into this conversation here. So Rachel said that same here. We had Chick-fil-A for the first time. So y'all rolling like we rolling. Like, I don't know about eating out right now during this time period. What made us loosen up?
I think Friday was a rough day for me, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And maybe that was a gift to me.
Yeah, we decided we just better eat out and just make it easy. But it ended up being kind of rough out there in those streets.
Or was it Friday that we ate out?
No, it wasn't Friday. Because we went to the store and all that kind of stuff. It was Saturday.
Okay.
Yeah. So, all right, y'all. Here we go. Let's get in it.
Rachel, we had neither. We had not eaten out at all. I didn't think we were going to ever eat out until it was over, but we ventured out. And we've been listening to stuff, and they've been talking about how it's the packaging that is most unsafe. Yep. So if you can get it home and get the food out of the packaging or sanitize the packaging, whatever. So we thought pizza is easy, like especially Blaze. We're watching them put it in the oven. We're watching them put it in the box, and we could take it home and take it right out of the box. So yeah, that worked out.
Yeah, it was good too. So I enjoyed it. I didn't save a piece at all. I just went ahead and smashed it that night. So all right, let's get back to the topic, y'all. So let us know in the comments as you're coming in what you did this weekend. And now we're going to jump into. So on Thursday, we talked about the 7 rings, which is the path, the framework that couples who have lasting and fulfilling marriages continue to grow through. Somebody saying something. Sure, probably shouldn't eat any meal she cooks. That's true.
You're trying to say I'm poisoning my. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad.
I trust you, babe.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so Monday or Thursday we covered the first 4 of the 7 rings, which is the engagement ring.
Yep.
All right, setting your foundation. Excuse me. The wedding ring, which is where you're coming together. You're getting that covenant commitment, not a contractual commitment, but a covenant where you're starting to come together with shared goals, shared dreams. You're becoming one in all senses of the word. And then the 3rd ring is the discovering, where we start to learn stuff after we get in this thing called marriage about each other, about marriage in general, and really, really about ourselves, with the goal of starting to become intentional about studying and learning our spouse. And then the 4th ring, I don't know how much we went into it. I think we shared a little bit of our story, is the persevering, which is where you have started to experience some challenges in your marriage, some internal, some external pushing in on you, some it's really at the end of the day is due to our sin. We're sinners by nature. So we're going to do those things that are going to cause some friction in the marriage, but how do we persevere through it? And that's what we were talking about there.
Yep.
All right. So today we want to keep growing. So now you went through some stuff, or you're going through the stuff, and you're getting everything that God wants out of it as he continues to build the endurance and put that hope in us that we can do it, and that he can lean on, we can lean on him to do it. Now what happens? Because the stuff just don't go away. If your spouse did something to you, or vice versa, or something happened, there's still going to be some lingering thoughts and feelings and memories to it, and probably some scars, some broken pieces, maybe some broken hearts. So after that, we get to the point where we got to put those things back together.
Right.
So that's what we call the restoring. And that is the 5th ring of the 7 rings of marriage. And with the restoring, the first thing I think that comes to mind is this is where you got to get good at forgiving your spouse. So you agreeing?
Yeah, that's a lifelong thing. That's something that we need a muscle that we need to always be building, is forgiving, because we're always going to be making mistakes and needing that forgiveness.
Yeah. And the thing is with the restoring, we're putting back broken pieces together. We're forgiving. But the actual restoring that happens is God does that. We can't do that. We don't have the power to do that on our own. So that's where we got to go back to that foundation of Jesus Christ at the center of our relationship and depending on him, and asking him for forgiveness when it was us that was the offendee, and being gracious enough as the whoever got offended is like, okay, I know who I am and what Jesus Christ has done for me. So I can forgive my spouse for A, B, C, D, or whatever it is.
Right.
But during that time period, it is, so it's a lot of prayer. It's a lot of getting to that. A few days ago, we talked about conversation and communication, and getting to the lowest, the most deep part of our communication, that is truth and love, is where we're sharing stuff in love, but we're sharing stuff truthfully, but really with love, because we are not trying to come across as bashing.
Right.
And just some practical things to do during that is, if you are offended or something has happened, is you can't continue to, you gotta, I don't want to say put it in a box, but if you're dealing with an issue it's right here, and there was an issue right back here that you guys had gone through and come through, you can't refer back and make those two the same issue.
Right.
So what is the issue at hand that we're dealing with right now? And that's what we're going to focus on. That's what we're going to pray through. That's what we're going to work through. The restoring, many times, and we recommend doing this, whether you're in hard times or not, is where you need to get some outside help. You need to get somebody else, a third party, who's not as emotionally invested as you guys are, to be an intermediate in between that. We have done that on many, many occasions.
Yeah. And what's a great idea is to have that help before you need it.
Yeah.
To be completely transparent, it's helpful to have that counseling, somebody to talk to, that third party to talk through life with from time to time, tune-ups through your marriage. And so that when you get to a crisis situation or something that you two together can't come through on your own, that you already have established that relationship.
Yep. Yeah, we've been through that. We've been through official or professional counseling. We've been through, this is maybe not official counseling, but it's where we've been surrounded by couples who hold us accountable, who encourage us and are there for us. There was a couple that intervened one time. We were having some issues in our marriage, and came and camped out at our house until we were able to come together, at least on a level of communicating truthfully and honestly and civilly, without it blowing up. We've also had coaches and counselors and mentors that we've called in the midst, like, okay, we need some help. We're stuck, or we're venting, and we're like, he did this and she did that. And they kind of like, okay, we're not just going to focus on that person. We're going to work on you guys as a whole. So the restoring is crucial, but you're going to need some help. But the underlying thing is broken hearts, broken pieces of your marriage, things happen. You have to have a heart of forgiveness.
Yeah.
So what was Susie's word? Grace upon grace.
Grace upon grace. Yep.
So if you didn't weren't here on Friday's episode, or whatever, are we calling them episodes? Friday's live. Susie Miller shared how she practices and they grant grace upon grace. It's like we have to be giving grace in our relationships. Go back and check that one out. It was on Friday.
Really good.
It started late, 20 minutes late because of technology, but we got it in.
It won't be late for y'all on replay.
Right. It's on demand for y'all. What's up, Willie? All right, babe, you got the next ring?
Rachel Scott, thank you for sharing it. That's encouraging. So the next ring is prospering. And so it is what it sounds like. It is when you come through some things and you have a brighter outlook on it. It's not that everything is perfect. It's not that you don't still have challenges, but your perspective on those challenges changes because you've been through some things and you know that you can come through them. So prospering is the sixth ring in the 7 rings.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. It is not everything is perfect.
Not at all.
When we get married, we have the happily ever after stories that are all familiar with. Well, you can raise your hand virtually if you want to. Everybody knows that don't really happen like that. You can have great marriages, but it's not happily ever after, meaning everything is always perfect. And I think sometimes in the engagement ring, when we're looking ahead, that is what we see. Is like, okay, happily married after, it means this problem's going away, that problem's going away, this problem's like, no, the problems that you had and the character that you had going into marriage is who you bring into it. Bring those two together, there's going to be some challenges. We've been through them all, but by the time you get through persevering and restoring, and now you're prospering because you've had that track record of persevering through problems. We look back, and some of the seasons that are most memorable to us and where we were the closest were some of our hardest seasons, and some of the most challenging things happened to us, including being homeless. But God has a way to use those trials to bless us, and then to point to him as well.
That's right. Yep.
So,
Most of our growth, I would say, happened in the challenge, not in the prospering. So
yep. So prospering you, but like Stephana said, your perspective has changed. So that 2 week problem becomes a 2 day problem, becomes a 2 hour problem, becomes a 2 minute problem before you're able to reconcile and go together in whether the problem may not go away, but your connection is not going to be severed for so long when you're in that season. So that is crucial when it comes to prospering. Right.
yes.
Good. Got last one. Let me take.
And the last one is mentoring, which is what we all are capable of. Let me say that first, because so many of us feel like that we're not capable of blessing another couple or coaching another couple or helping another couple. We were there for so long because we felt like y'all don't really know what's happening in these four walls. You don't want us to be talking to you about, whatever, because we don't have it all together. That was the thought, is like, when we get it all together, then maybe we can help somebody. But that's not true. When you've gone through something, that can, and you made it through it, that can bless another couple that might be facing something similar and not see the hope to get past it. So you are able to mentor somebody just based on the experiences that God has allowed your marriage to go through. So don't hold that to yourself, just trying to get through it, but be willing to open up and share and bless another couple, give somebody else hope.
Yeah. So we've been doing this thing as far as marriage ministry and publicly sharing and helping other couples since around 2015. I guess that's when we started speaking, but even before that, my writing, somewhere around 2012, 2013. But way before, and we've been married almost 19 years. So way back in the early 2000s, we were like brand new, not even 10 years into marriage. And couples would come to us with some of their marital challenges, asking for advice, asking for help. Hey, can we spend some time with you guys? And like Stephana said, we was like, y'all don't really know what's going on up in these walls. You really don't know what you're signing up for. So we kind of pushed it away, or either not necessarily pushed it away, but didn't respond or didn't take the next step.
We're
And
fearful. I think that was a lot of it. We
Yeah.
were fearful that we weren't ready, or that we didn't want to get too deep in their situation.
yeah, you don't want to get your stuff to be exposed too much. You don't want to get too much in their stuff because you kind of get, know a little bit about them. But sadly, what we found and what we experienced is some of those couples ended up not together after those seasons. Not that had we talked to them, we would have saved their marriage, not saying any of that. But we could have played a part. We could have planted a seed that could have been, watered, and somebody else could have finished, got the fruit for that seed. But that could be the same thing with you guys. And we didn't even know it. But at that time, too, we were a part of a small group that we organically formed. So it wasn't, our church didn't do small groups, but we met some couples around the same age, had, in marriage, no
Same
kids,
stage.
same stage with kids that are not, very young or no kids at all. And we spent time with them, and we'd get together and we formed kind of a marriage ministry organically, and we'd meet once a month. And once a month, we'd get together and one couple would host at their house. And your assignment was to prepare a lesson on marriage. And so I can remember us getting the house, trying to get stuff together. We were in an apartment at the time. We'd use the apartments to do stuff, but we did not know that what was going on then was God was preparing us for what we're doing now. So what you're doing now, and even bigger than that, was the problems that we were going through, because we were so focused. If you broke our marriage up into two distinct sections, the first one would be trying to stay married and not get divorced, going through all kinds of issues, all kinds of challenges, all kinds of problems. Like, we accepted from a marriage mentor of ours that divorce is not an option. So he's like, all right, we got to figure out how to honor that. And everything that happens, like, okay, that would kind of be our saving grace. And then it got to this point where the switch flipped, and we're like, okay, these problems that we're going through are not just for us. Our marriage is bigger than us. And God allowed these problems in so that way we can gain this experience. And now we can turn around and relate to other couples who are going through it and share with them in hopes of helping their marriage. So when you get that light switch or whatever flips on like that for you guys, that your marriage is bigger than you and your problems are not just for you, that changes the game for your marriage. It did that for us. We've been fortunate enough to have a marriage mentor in practically every season of our marriage. And it might not be the same couple throughout, but just how God, enables us to befriend and connect with couples, and couples take a liking. It's like, hey, they see something they want to pour into. So be on the lookout for that, because we're in the mentoring, right?
And be open to that.
So mentoring is crucial. Whether you're pouring in a couple who's just maybe not where you guys are, you just maybe better at communication, you can help them with their communication or their money, but also be receptive to other couples going to be pouring into you. Super crucial. All right, let me jump in the comments. You see anything, babe? I'm gonna read this comment. Mentoring is part of having an open hand to give and receive blessings.
That's good.
That's real good. With the same hand you give with, you can receive. I've definitely learned it's not about perfection. It's about obedience. That's the word right there. That's good stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Rachel. Like that comment. So I want to ask the question while we're talking about this. Who in here now, whether you watch it live or catch it later on replay, currently has a couple that you would consider like a marriage mentor, a couple that you learn from and kind of pours into you, that you can go to with your problems, or they're just dropping dimes and wisdom on you all the time? Who has something like that? We'll wait. I always forget that there's a 10-20 second delay or whatever. So ask a question. So as you guys are getting that feed getting to you, answer that question. Do you have someone like that? Hey, what's up, Billy? Thank you guys for joining us. But that has been life-saving, both the small group and the accountability of peer couples, as well as marriage mentors in us. And now even this, we just came through one of the toughest stretches that we've had in our marriage at the first quarter of this year. And then we walk into COVID-19, and then we decide in the midst of this, we're going to jump on here every day at 5:00, Monday through Friday, and start talking about marriage. But it has been such a blessing to do that, as we are now pouring into you and everybody else who shows up 1 day a week, 2 days a week, 5 days a week, whatever. But it's such a blessing, just like the open hand, giving and receiving, how God created us to I guess, receive and give in that fashion.
So we appreciate y'all coming and showing up, and just as we are attempting to pour out, y'all are pouring in as well. So we do appreciate it.
Yep.
Good stuff.
All right. So let me see. Hey, somebody said, hey. Kobe said, you guys are ours. Appreciate that. But we learned from y'all too.
That's right.
So, all right, guys. This has been good. Part 2 is continued. So if you weren't here for part one was on Thursday. So go back to Thursday, which was the 16th. Go on our group. If you're in a group, please, if you haven't joined the group, go join the group. But you can find the video there, the replay. And that's when we covered the first 4 of the 7 rings that we're covering right now, which is basically how you continue to growing, is where you are right now based on what we shared, and then what's next, so you can start doing the things to get to that next step, or get to that next ring and keep your marriage growing.
Amen. Good stuff, Rachel. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome.
It's huge.
Yep.
So if you don't have one, if you didn't answer in the chat and you don't have one, we strongly encourage you to begin to look for that couple that you admire the relationship that they have. That was kind of our thing, is like, I really like what they're doing. I like how they relate. I like what I see in their marriage, the fruit it shows. And so we just began to try to spend time with that person, not just said, hey, will you mentor us? I don't think it's ever been that, an official asking of that question, but it's just been building relationship with that couple, and naturally something happens. God works that out.
Yep. So, I was going to say something. I forgot what I was going to say. All right. So 7 rings: engagement ring, wedding ring, discovering, persevering, restoring, prospering, and mentoring. So you guys have got them all. Go back and watch the first one if you want to catch up on the rest of them. But this is what I was going to say. If you do not have a mentor like that, while we don't really work with couples one-on-one like that, but we do create content and all that type of stuff. So you may find us or somebody else who you can learn from virtually or from afar. Grab their resources, show up to their lives like you guys are doing right now. Reach out to them if you're not in a physical place to where you can reach them, Facebook, whatever, social media, but find someone who you can learn from and put some practical things into your marriage.
Yep.
Regardless of this. So that is something that you got to be intentional on doing. So we encourage you to do that. And share it with your other couples too, that you guys got friends. Because what we found, as the stronger the marriages were around us, the stronger we were. And so it helped to see that, because sometimes you're just not in it and stuff is going whatever direction, but you got somebody else there who is. And just like in your marriage, it might be your bad day and your spouse is there to pick you up.
Yep.
Or vice versa. So iron sharpens irons with couples too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good to go?
Good to go. So thank y'all for being with us. Remember to get your snack and your drink and come back and join us tomorrow at 5 o'clock.
Yeah. See you guys tomorrow.
See ya.